Alright guys, Ollie here, and we are back for another AOR highlights video for round number 16, the Japanese Grand Prix. And from when I'm commentating this race, this took place quite a while ago, so I think before this round I was still third in the championship. I'm not too sure on what the gap was to the drivers in front, but as you probably would have known, in the last few races I've been closing on them quite rapidly, so perhaps if we can have a good race today we could take the championship lead. But this is my fastest lap in qualifying. You can see I'm P3 at the moment, and I'm going to take you through this lap. So pretty good turn 1 2, so heading into this lovely section. I absolutely love this track, it's one of my favourite tracks on the game. So staying in 5th gear through here, pretty nice first sector. You can see 1/10 up on the delta, going up into 6th. You have to be flat out through that corner. If you lift you lose quite a bit of time. 7th gear through the next corner, flat out, make sure you don't touch that curb there on the exit of the corner. Go 3rd temporarily, then 4th on the exit of Degna 2 before heading into the hairpin. So shift down into 2nd and then short shift on the exit to get good traction. We're now 2/10 up on a 27.8, and I think around the 27.4 is a good time to aim for, and that should hopefully be good enough for pole. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I believe before this race I did a decent amount of practice as well, so I was pretty well prepared, and always around here my pace seems to be pretty good. I didn't struggle like I did at Malaysia before that race, but Malaysia turned out to be a P2 as you guys know, so that's a good result, and hopefully we can get another podium today. So 3/10 up now, going purple through 130R. This chicane, you can make or break your lap here, so braking hard down to 3rd gear, staying in 3rd gear, well actually shifting up to 4th there into the second part. 5th gear, taking it as tight as possible around the final corner, and across the line we do a 27.3, and that is a really good time, and I was hoping that would be good enough for a pole, but once again Aresi has beaten it just by about 64 hundredths of a second. So yeah, pretty disappointing, but to be honest, to be on the front row, you know, you're in a really good position. You can see Ali K has left the session, and he is the championship leader of course before this race, so I believe once you leave you can't rejoin, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be out of this race, so that is a disaster for him. That does open up the opportunity for us to take the lead in the championship depending on where Synthetic finishes, but for him that's not great, and to be honest I don't want to take the championship lead in that way because the game obviously kicked him out, so not great there from Co-Masters. But 5 red lights and away we go, and it's a decent start. I think the first phase hasn't been great, but on the second phase we get really good traction compared to Aresi, and we're going up the inside. We need to get past him here because his pace looked really good, and we've managed to do so, and we've got through into the lead here. Carrick's has also taken Aresi as well, so Aresi's gone from 1st to 3rd. We are in the lead in these sort of mixed conditions here. On the dry tyres, yeah, it's wet, it's a bit weird. I had that in one of my PSGL league races a while back, so not really that experienced in these conditions because you can't really practice in this. You can't set the weather to be like this because yeah, it's really weird. Just dry tyres, yeah, a wet track kind of in between inters and dries, but obviously dries are the quicker option, so super soft it is, and we're just going to stick to our normal strategy, which is super soft to soft, 1 stop, pitting at about lap 9, lap 8-ish, and yeah, if we can keep this lead that'd be absolutely amazing. Try and aim for our 3rd win of the season. But Carrick's of course is a very fast driver. He joined midway through the season, and he's obviously going to be really difficult to keep behind because he's right on the back of us here, but we are out front at the moment, and yeah, that is just what I wanted because I knew once Aresi gets away it's going to be really difficult to catch him. So I had to get past him at the start because in the last few races his pace has just been on another level compared to a lot of other people, especially over 1 lap, and I think he's taken pole in the last 3 races. I might be wrong about that. Actually no, it was Alberto who took pole at Malaysia, but he's always been there or thereabouts in the last few races on the front row or on pole. And you can see setting the fastest lap, obviously leading across the line on lap 1. Now moving on to lap 2, Carrick's are still on the back of us, but us two are slowly pulling away from Aresi, which is good signs definitely. And then Ali K did not start, and Synthetic is in about 5th I think at this stage, so it's looking good for us to take the championship lead here today, which in my debut season was something I never thought I'd be saying. I never thought I'd be in this sort of position really, to be fighting for a championship. Like the aim at the start of the season was to just get like points in every race really, and aim for a couple of top 5s and podiums, but I'm now in a really good position. It's definitely an exciting time for me to have this opportunity to hopefully take the title if the next few races go well. But you can see moving on to lap 5, Carrax is right on the back of us. We have pulled away. I think it's me and Carrax, and then it's a bit of a gap back to Resi and I think it's Simo. Might be wrong about that, I can't really remember to be honest, but you can see Carrax is going for a move on us here into the chicane, defending that pretty well, trying not to lock up a brake, and we're holding on to the lead for the moment. But I didn't really want to lose the lead, even though, to be honest, it'd be quicker for both of us if he managed to get through because he had the quicker pace, and obviously defending you're going to lose time, but we're going to defend anyway at this stage, and he goes for it down the inside, doing some pretty aggressive defending there, like from myself, to move twice under braking, which from his point of view it didn't look bad. So yeah, I thought he was going for a move on the inside, so I kind of switched back to the outside, but sort of made 2 moves there in the straight. So yeah, pretty aggressive but legal, and we hold on to the lead for the moment. And now moving on to lap 7, you can see once again he's right behind us. We didn't really have the pace in the final sector. We always had good pace in the first sector, and then in the final sector our pace wasn't great, and in the middle sector it wasn't amazing either. And you can see he's right behind us now, and he's going to have DRS again, so we're going to go defensive once again. Rich fuel mix at the moment, pulling to the inside line. Carrax is going to try it round the outside of turn 1, which is going to be a good move if he can pull it off, and he actually manages to do so there, pinching me on the apex, and he makes the move stick, so fair play to him for that. But yeah, I wasn't that happy that he pulled off an amazing move on me there, but you know, it's going to probably be better in the long term, because if he wins the race in terms of the championship it won't really matter. And you can see actually thinking about possibly going for a move there, and a weird opportunity to do so, because my first sector pace, as I've said already, was really good. But we're just going to try and stick with him here, and that should be able to drag us away from Aresi and the cars behind him. I think it's Synthetic actually in 4th place, Sinner in 5th. And I was actually planning on pitting at the end of this lap to try and go for an undercut on Carrax, depending on what he did. If he was going to pit, I'd probably stay out, and then if he's going to stay out, I'll pit. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here at the end of the lap. You can see only 11 people left in this race, which is not a good turnout for AOR, as Carrax runs a bit wide there. But yeah, as I said, not a good turnout for AOR, and the numbers have just been decreasing really. Not really in the other tiers, just in F1, because, well actually I say that, but other tiers have also lost drivers as well. But in F1 the drivers, like, some people quitted just because they don't like the game, some people don't have the time, and some people have got other opportunities such as job opportunities, etc., and they've left. And you can see we're going to go into the pits now, and also you can't really move people up to tier 1 at this stage in the season, as a Resi follows us into the pits as well, so we need a good stop here. Going onto the soft tyres, going to the end, so that's 18 laps to do on the soft tyres. We actually get held a bit in the pits there, but not too much, so it's alright for us. Carrax stays out, and looking behind me now, you can see Aresti's only just left his pit box there, so he's obviously being held up, and I think he actually had a time penalty for corner cutting of 5 seconds, which I had that in Spain, where you corner cut once, and instead of getting a warning, you just got a 5-second penalty, which is, yeah, Codemasters not doing a good job again. But we're in 7th right now. We've got Shaxi U in front, who's new. I don't think he came from any other tier, I just think he's new, so we had to put him in F1 for the numbers really. Not my decision. I don't think he's really quick enough. You probably won't agree with that, but I don't think he's got the pace, because I'm commentating at this time where I've done Japan obviously, and I've done USA as well, and he hasn't really been competitive enough. But you can see Carrax there exiting the pits, and we are ahead of him, so we've managed to jump in again, so this actually opens up the opportunity again to take the win here. But once again his pace is insane, so we're going to have to really try our best to keep him behind. It's going to be difficult over 17 laps, and also my pace on the soft tyres hasn't been amazing throughout practice. I never really did stints on the soft tyres, because yeah, when I practiced the race I'd always do the first stint and then a couple of laps of the second stint, so I've always not really had the pace on softs, just because I haven't had the running on them, which I should change to be honest. But also it depends on time with other commitments such as college work, etc. But you can see Shaxi U is in front of us. He started on the soft tyres because I think he was outside the top 10, and we have now caught up to him here at the start of lap 12, and we're going to have to try and get past him. This opens up the opportunity for Carrick's to get past us, possibly, if Shaq's EU gets in the way here. So we've got to see what we can do. We've got to try and get past him as quickly as possible. Hopefully we can get past him, and then he can get in between me and Carrick's, hopefully, because he's made a bit of a mistake there, and I thought he was going to spin into me there, and we've actually made a bit of contact with Carrick's, who's managed to make a pretty good move there on both me and Shaq's EU, who sort of got in my way there, but you know, that's racing. Not going to blame him for anything there, I just think he lost the rear, and I had to take it pretty cautiously in the position I'm in with the championship and everything, not to take any risks. And Carrick's has now got through, and to be honest, he probably would have done that anyway, because his pace just was on another level compared to mine, also compared to the people around me. I think Simo and Synthetic both pretty close to me in the championship, so we've got to keep them behind in the remaining 15 laps of the race. But I think once again, on the soft tyres, their pace was better than mine, so in the coming races I've got to really just focus on the second half of the race, and well, the second stint as well, because yeah, I don't know why my pace isn't amazing in the second stint, and it seems to be pretty good in the first stint. And you can see now, moving on to lap 14, Carrick's has gone up the road, and I think he actually had a penalty, but I didn't know that at this stage, so he's got to extend about 5 seconds gap on us, I think. So he's pushing really hard. You can see he sets a 37.9, we set a 38.7, so 8 tenths off the pace of Carrick's. Not good signs really for the rest of the season and for next season, if I'm honest, but it might be to do with my setup or something, I don't know. As Alberto also puts up a good time, so does Clay. The track is just getting quicker and quicker as it starts to dry out now. You can see the rain's pretty much stopped as well, so we have Simo and Synthetic right behind us. We've, as I've said already, got to keep them behind us for the championship. We've got to make sure Simo stays in front of Synthetic as well, to be honest, because that will enable me to take the lead of the championship. And you can see onto lap 21 now. Pretty much lap after lap it was just me pulling away in the first sector, and then those two coming back towards me in the second and third sectors, especially through the chicanes. You'll see here they really close up onto the back of me, which mean they would have DRS and slipstream of course down the straight, so I'd always be under a bit of pressure. But then with the dirty air and everything, I'd pull the gap back up in the first sector. It was just lap after lap like that. It was pretty pressurising. You can see Simo is right up behind us now, so we've got to make no mistakes, and we've just got to make sure we can hold on to this P2, because that will put us in the lead of the championship. It will be our 3rd podium in a row, I think, and yeah, keeping consistent second places and podiums is what we need to do from here till the rest of the season in order to try and take this championship. I think Synthetic's probably going to be my main rival, because he's driving pretty consistently at the moment, and also Aresi in this race is now down in like 5th place, because I think he had a spin and he was pushing too hard after his penalty. So yeah, not great for Aresi, and definitely good news for us. I think Synthetic's our main rival, so we've got to make sure we just got to stay in front of him in the rest of this race and see what we can achieve in the remaining parts of this championship, with not many people left on the grid. But to be honest, that doesn't really bother me, as long as I can just keep doing a good job and keep achieving well, and hopefully aim for this title in my debut season. I'll be really happy. So about 5 laps remaining now. Just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep doing what we have been doing for the last 10 or so laps, and we should be able to take the second place. You can see Simo is probably the closest he's actually been all racing. He's got DRS closing on us, and he's not quite close enough to make a move on us into turn 1. Turn 1's actually really difficult to lose the rear end through there, so it's pretty pressurising when you have 2 cars right up behind me going into there. But we're not bottling it, and we're doing pretty well. You can see the tyre wear, it's gradually getting worse, but heading on to the last lap, we're going to stay on board from here to the end. It looks to me like the 2 cars behind have dropped off slightly, and this is giving us a bit of a gap into the last lap. So if we can pull away, hopefully those 2 will start battling as well to make us be able to extend our gap here on the final lap, as Carrick's has probably got about a 6 or 7 second gap. I didn't check it on the replay here when I went across the line, but his gap is pretty massive, so well done to him, good drive from him today, had a couple of good battles with him, and it's actually 6.4 seconds there, so he's got enough despite his penalty. And you can see the two cars have actually started battling behind, so that has pretty much secured our place in second for this Grand Prix. So I was really happy at the stage, just got to know I've got to keep it on the road from here, and I was actually hoping Simo would stay in front of Synthetic as well to make sure I'd take the lead of the championship heading into USA the next round. Then you've got Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi, so 3 tracks I like, and then you've got Abu Dhabi, which I don't really like, to be honest, but you know, hopefully we can. Yeah, I can't even believe I'm in this position, but let's see if we can take this title this year. So Carrick's is going to take the win. We're going to head into the final chicane, 3rd gear, as we have been doing all race. Short shift up to 4th on the exit. Carrick's takes the win, and we are going to take P2 and the lead of the championship on our debut season. So 3rd podium in a row, 5th podium of the year, and it's looking really good for us. So that was a pretty fun race to have. Simo stayed in front of Synthetic as well, so yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Leave a like if you have, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Thank you very much for 200 subscribers, which I've just reached yesterday from when I'm commentating this, so I don't know what it will be when I finally upload this, but thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon in the next round. So goodbye.